What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you some advanced Revit modeling techniques, or a rundown of how I achieved my master thesis project, or at least part of that project, and that is this sphere. So I did a tutorial a couple of days ago on some advanced navigation in Revit, and if you want to check that out, I'm going to be leaving a link to that video in the description of this one, so check that out. But anyways, I've shown you my master thesis project, and I'm going to be talking about this project a lot more in depth just to explain how I got to this, but that's more of an architectural topic. In today's tutorial, I want to show you just in Revit how I got to the shape of this here sphere with the with basically a spiral running all around it. So I'm just going to be sharing that with you. And before I get started, I would just like to ask you to like this tutorial, just because it helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you haven't already, I suggest you subscribe, because I make useful Revit tutorials almost each day. Also, if you want to get my project file, this one that I'm using, or any of my other Revit project files, check out my Patreon, first link in the description. Also, there you can find some of my advanced courses. I've got over 21 one-hour courses so far on all advanced topics in Revit. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into modeling. So as you can see, we've got a sphere, and this sphere was of course modeled as an in-place mass, but I had to make some modifications, because if we go into the section, let's see, one of these sections, so as you can see, inside of the sphere I've got another sphere. So the idea is that here I have some sort of an auditorium or planetarium, something like that, and outside we have a bit of a bigger construction, and here we have maybe a restaurant with a view, or a cafe or something like that, and then there's a spiral going around it. So the first thing is constructing this whole thing. So I went about it by, let me just create a new file. So I'm going to go here to File, New Project, and I'm going to be using the architectural template for this one. So let's let Revit load. Okay, so here's a new project, and I'm just going to go here to Massing and Site, turn on Show Mass, and go to In Place Mass. Okay, let's call it Mass 1, and now what I'm going to do is just do a simple reference plane. So I'm just going to go here to Plane, or you can use the shortcut RP, and I'm just going to place a just a regular reference plane here, and I'm just going to call it I don't know, reference plane 1. I just like to have a name, and that's it. Now I'm going to go to South Elevation, and once in South Elevation I can go to Set Work Plane, and here I can go to basically reference plane 1, and here I can do just a simple line like this, just a straight line. Then you go with an arc, and you go all the way back, and you do like half circle, and then what I like to do is just do a reference line like this, running through the middle, just like that, and then you have your profile, you have your axis, so you just hold the control key, select both of those, and go create form. Let's try again. Okay, we seem to have a problem. Okay, I messed it up with this. Okay, so let's go now create form, and there we go. So we have our sphere. Now inside of the sphere I need to have another sphere, so I'm just going to go to South Elevation, turn on maybe wireframe just so I can see through it, and then go with another sphere. So I'm just going to go like this, do half circle, kind of like that. And then let me grab this line. So it's a bit tricky, you want to go from the center, so maybe you can do like a full circle, and then we can just trim it and split it. So just go SL for split element, or go here to split element in the modified panel, and then just cut it here, and just by using trim and extend, you trim and extend it around like this. Okay, go back into 3D, I can select this profile, again the axis line, go to create form, and there we go, we have an inner sphere. Now I would like to create that opening for the for like the cafe on top. So for that, what I like to do is just go here into 3D, let's go to site plan perhaps, and once here you just go with circle, simple circle. Now you can go with and just place it kind of over here in the edge. Okay, maybe a bit closer. Yeah, let's say this works. Okay, I'm happy with that. Go back into 3D, select this thing, and go to create form. Now, instead of solid form, I'm going to go into void form and go with an extrusion, extend it all the way up. Then I'm going to orbit around it down. Here, select the bottom surface, or the bottom part, and then extend it like this. So I can go like that, but as you can see, if I go like this, okay, there we go. So we have that. Now it's cutting through it, but we don't have the actual cut. It's just kind of inside of it. So what I need to do is go here to cut, and then I will select the sphere and then this thing, and there we go. We have that opening. And the good thing is that this void isn't really cutting into the inner sphere, which should be completely closed off. Okay, with that out of the way, now we have our mass. So what I can do now is just go here to finish mass, and there we go, we have it. And now I can just go here to masking inside. We have our mass walls. So I'm just going to select that, go with the 200mm generic wall, and do the inner mass first, and then I can do the exterior one, and there we go. We have our basically our two spheres that are in each other. Now let's go to to level 2. Here we can see that, and maybe I can create a section running through this thing just to see how it looks like. Okay, maybe extend it a little bit, and there we go. Okay, it looks really good, and you can always turn off show mass, and now you're left with this. Okay, so once we have this, we need to have some way that this is standing up. So I like to do that by creating some sort of a construction for this thing. So to create that construction, let's go back to level 2. Actually, I'm going to create another reference plane here. So just go to reference plane, and let's do one through the middle. So I want to have like a center reference plane that's going to come in really useful, and let's just call it center. Okay, so we've got our center reference plane, and now let's go into component, model in place, and just go to model in place. And now for the construction, I'm just going to call it maybe structural framing or something like that. It's basically something that's going to be holding this whole sphere in place. So let's go to this section. Okay, once here, I'm going to go with a revolve. Then for the plane, I'm going to select the center plane. Okay, we have that. So let's do the boundary, and the boundary, of course, will be, or the axis line. Yeah, and the axis line, of course, will be the line in the middle. Okay, we have that in place. Now we can do the boundary line, and the boundary line should follow this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go maybe like that. Okay, and then just follow the edge. If you're having trouble constructing this, you can always go with pick lines and create a line like that, then give it a bit of an offset, like 0.2 or okay, this is in millimeters, so 200 millimeters, just like this, and then just do maybe 2 lines, one like this and one like that. Okay, let's say I'm happy with this. So I'm just going to go to trim and extend. TR is the shortcut, and trim and extend this here, and there we go. So we have some sort of construction going around, like a ring that's holding this whole sphere in place, and that's exactly what I have over here down below. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is that ring that's holding the sphere in place. So let's just finish off this construction. So let's go here. Okay, so go back into your section, and in section now we can do something like, let's go to create. I'm going to go with a sweep, and then with sketch path, and let's pick a plane, and it will be the center plane, and let's go from kind of from the center of this thing, go like this at 45 degrees, and then go maybe straight down. Maybe extend it a little bit. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Now go into 3D. Okay, so we're there, and let's do a circular profile over here. So it's going to be a bit different. Sorry, you should click finish, and now go to edit profile. So I'm going to create it a bit different than my project, just to kind of make it look more interesting. So let's go with 400. Yeah. Okay, happy with that. Hit finish, and there we go. It looks like that. So now what I'm going to do is just select this thing, go into my level 2 floor plan, and now I can just maybe mirror it or something like that, or maybe let's go to rotate and go to, or just go to place, center of rotation, go here to the center, and then let's rotate it by 45 degrees. There we go. And now what I'm going to be doing is just go to mirror and just go with pick axis, pick this axis. There we go. Now I'm going to select both of these, go mirror draw axis, and then go from the center straight up. And there we go. Now if I go into 3D, so that's how this thing is going to be standing. Okay, so once we have that, I'm just going to explain the process of how I got to this like helix spiral going all the way around. And it's actually a series of floors that are not overlapping. That's the important part. So what you need to do to create something like this is to go, let's go here into 3D. Okay, and let's go to level 2. So here we are in level 2. So what you need to do is first let's finish this model. And now let's go to architecture, go to floor, and I just go to floor and then I do a simple circle. So just a circle around this to like indicate the minimum distance. And once I have that, I'm going to do 2 lines here to mark like the start or the width of my path going around. Let's say it's a 1000 millimeter path. I'm not really worried about dimensions so much for this project as it's just simply to show you or explain. But what I'm going to do now is mirror this to the other side with a draw mirror, just like that, and just select it and move it with the move tool by the value of, I don't know, like 500 millimeters. So just like that. Okay, we can get rid of this circle. Okay, and also here I'm just going to take these 2, well, markers and then copy them. And I'm just going to copy them just like this so they're not overlapping. Okay, maybe move it closer. I'm just using the arrow keys here. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to do it something. I'm going to do something like this, or actually I can even move it closer in like this if you don't want the spiral to go too much wide out of the way. And then here you can move this in maybe by the value of, let's go with 250 millimeters. Yeah, let's make it a bit closer together. Okay, so once we have this, as you can see here, it's offset by half, and here it's a bit less than half. It's actually quarter because it's 250 millimeters. And now I just do arcs. So arc from here to here, just like that. Then, or no, it shouldn't be there. Yeah, the arc should be from here to here. Okay, just like that. And from the inner one to the inner one, just like that. And then on the other side, just go like this. And here, just like that. So basically, we are constructing a spiral over here. Now, what I'm going to do is just grab this line, put it over here, and then maybe just drag. Okay, it's going to have problems just like this. You can't really drag it, unfortunately, so I'm just going to try to maybe move this a bit out of the way. Just like that. Okay, this can be a bit tricky, but let's go like this. Okay, so unfortunately you can't make it touch just because it's going to close it off, and we don't want that. And I'm just going to explain in a moment why not. So let me just delete these lines and then go with a simple line and close it off over here. And here, these lines that we used to measure, let's close those off. Okay, so we have something that looks like this. Maybe we can even extend it a bit. Yeah, we can come in really close, just not too close. So let's go like this, and then trim and extend. There we go. Okay, so we've got this kind of we've got this spiral going on. So what I'm just going to do now is hit finish, go into 3D. Okay, here it is. And now you go to modify sub elements over here, and then you select this line and you move it up by the value of whatever. Let's go with 2000 millimeters. Let's see what that looks. Okay, we can go with 4,000. Okay, so it's going to give us warnings. Who cares? 2000 over here. So you're going half value there, and then you go back to modify, and there you go. So as you can see, it's going around this thing, and it's actually coming in closer and closer. So for the next one, what you can do, because it should be winding to the other direction, what I like to do in that case is just you can let's see, what can we do? We can select this thing, go back into maybe level 2. Okay, let's go to site plan to see it better. Okay, this will work, I hope. So what I'm going to do now is go into and copy, paste, align to same place. So here I'm just showing you a trick that's going to save you time when you're doing elements like this that are kind of repetitive. So what I'm going to do is select it and move it out of the way by a value that I will remember. So let's go with 20,000 millimeters. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do now is mirror this. So just go mirror, uncheck copy, and just mirror it to the other side. And once you're here, go into 3D, and now you just have to reverse this process. So or not reverse it, but actually change the heights. So now you go here to modify sub elements. This is at 2000. Let's change it to 6000, and this one here is at 0, and let's change that to 8000. So hopefully this will work. If I hit close, there we go. Go back into level, let's go to site plan. Okay, so once you're here, just select it, move it, and go back by the same value of 20,000. And now if we go into 3D, as you can see, this is continuing off over here. Okay, we've got some overlap here, so you can fix that just by maybe rotating this thing just a tad. So let's go to rotate and go maybe from here to here. Will it work? There we go, it works. And there we go. So we've got our spiral that's going all the way around. And just one more quick tip before we finish, and that's how to do railing for this. Well, for railing, I like to do a straight wall over here, but if you go with wall, it's really difficult to adjust it in a perfect way. So I solved that by using the railing tool. So what you do is just go to File, and I create a new railing profile. So just go here to File, New Family. Let's go to Profile, Rail, open that up. Okay, once we're here, this is the rail center line, so you just need to have it kind of offset to one side. So just go to Level and go, okay, so this is the rail top. Okay. Yeah, let's go like that. Okay, so it's going to be kind of like this. Okay, I'm happy with the way this looks for now. Let's say this is all right. Load it into the project. Let's go with project 1. That's this one. Okay, go into 3D. There we have it. Okay, so now just go simply to rail, sketch path, and here I'm going to sketch it along this edge. Hit finish. Then you go and change that to, let's go with pipe. Okay, with pipe, and I'm going to edit type, go here, duplicate, and let's call it new rail ink. Okay, and here let's go first, turn off top rail, go into edit structure, delete most of these. Yeah, delete. Okay, this one height 0, and profile will be our family 1. Hit apply. Okay, let's go to ballast replacement and just change this to none. Okay, here none, and here none, here none. Hit OK. Okay, so I think we've got all of the settings right. Let's hit OK. There we go. And just pick new host. Pick this line. Okay, it's having some trouble aligning. Let's see, where's the issue? So it might give you some trouble, so you maybe need to go into edit path. Let's see if you can make it smaller. Okay, now, okay, there we go. So now it works. So I guess it had some trouble over here, so maybe if we extend it a little bit more, it will work. Or no. So I guess for the next trail, you'll just have to kind of continue from there on. So there you go. That's how you do the railing for these things, and you do it the same thing on both sides. And there you go. That's how you get to this spiral shape that I've created over here. So there you go. That's okay. Wait, where's the model? There it is. We can maybe turn on some shadows, and there we go. It looks really cool. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope this brings you the process that I used to create my student project a bit closer. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, of course, keep in mind that I it took me a lot more time than now just for creating this thing, because I need to kind of measure everything out so it's kind of perfectly aligned going around this thing, and then there's a lot more details. So keep that in mind when working on a more complex project. It is going to take a bit more time, but that's the general approach to something like this. So I hope you have learned something new and useful in this tutorial. If you want to download this project file, again, as I said, first link in the description to my Patreon. You can find this project file as well as all of my other Revit project files. Also there, some of my advanced courses, 21 courses so far, and I'm uploading new ones each week. So keep that in mind and check it out if you're interested. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for sticking through this tutorial. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.